Welcome. On this channel, I do unedited videos and streams of Linux programming and stuff. Most recently, I have decided to relearn C and have been exploring various areas of that. I initially kind of got sidetracked with the build system, make, Nix builds, things like that. And most recently finally did get back to just, okay, time to learn C. In the previous video, I made a run through the standard types, just making sure I remembered what size everything was, things like that. In this video, the thing I'm going to go explore is structs. Everything related to structs. I don't. Well, here, let's first go find the project. I think most recently I have decided that what I'm going to do is create a video or create a updated directory with the current little demo in it for each video that I do. So we'll copy the previous one into a new folder. It'll be 014, and I think I'll just call it Structs. So we'll drop down in there. Oops, what just happened? It did not like... I'm not sure what I must have had a typo there. Okay, so I'm just going to reset the code. Don't really need anything here. We'll just put a make sure it builds and runs, and it builds and runs. Okay, so I truly basically don't remember structs other than that the keyword to make them. Well, let's just take a look at what the internet tells me about structs. C language struct. So one of the things I want to, well, let's start with the basics. Let's just see what this shows us. So structure my structure. Captain my captain. To access a structure, you must create a variable. Okay, so let's okay, simple struct. Let's just start by doing. So we need, is the name optional? So nice and simple. So I can create a struct S of type S, right? It's probably not going to let me do that because I'm not actually using it. That's fine. So how do I define a struct? C language define struct at definition. It's going to get me right back to where I was, isn't it? Well, okay, so we can assign a value. Is that enough for it to think it's used? Undeclared. If I use it, Is that enough for it to think it's used? Undeclared S. Struct S. Why is that wrong? So define a... So I undeclared. Oh, that is what I did wrong. And I should do a.b. Okay, so I'm confusing myself. I don't know why. Okay, so X and Y, and I want to change the, because that's where my brain wants it to be. It's a struct S. Oh, A doesn't exist. That makes sense. Oops, did it again. And S of A. Now that should work. Nope. What happened? Undeclared variable A. Wow. It is S. That's what I was trying to make. Variable S set, but not used. I assign values to it. So just for a moment here, wow. My brain couldn't vim for a second. That happens every now and then where, I mean, when you use Vim, all the motions just kind of flow through. You don't really think about it. And then every now and then, in fact, I'm just going to get rid of all of those. Struct S has no member named A. That is because they are X and Y. Well, that builds is 1. Was all of that just a mistake? Yes, it was, I bet. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we're printing out the 2 members of the struct. In fact, let's just do... So we have that. Okay, so I should know. I'm just going to kind of go off on a random here. Let's call S1. And now I should be able to make a pointer. I should be able to make, let's make sure that still runs. Also made the same mistake up here. Okay, it ran. Now, what I want to do is is it done this way? To make S2 a pointer to S1? And in which case, if I say S2 equals, it's giving me the answer. So why doesn't just that work? So incompatible types when assignment. Struct pointer. So S is a struct. So yes, I need the address of S1 to be able to do that, right? S2 equals the address of S1. Why does that not work? S2 is a pointer. Did you mean to use O? So that did work, but now the access becomes that. There we go. Okay, so pretty straightforward. How about accessing, okay, so that gives me, how about structs in an array? What does that look like? Okay, so to define that, thinking this through here. I would have struct S S3 equals, actually let's just take its suggestion there. So now I have, I think in newer versions of C, like C23, I think you can define them with name there too. I'm not real sure about that. So it, yeah, you gotta like Copilot sometimes. You know, it recognizes that there's only two things in the array. But then on the other hand, well, yep, okay. Blah, blah, blah. That all actually seems right. S3 undeclared. So here's S3. We define the values. We're going to loop through S3, getting IX and IY. What's going on here? So the S3 undeclared on line 27. S3 is right here. Unexpected, read all the, okay, so that is not how you do, okay, so it didn't like this, it goes here. There, that was a thing. Okay, so the array part of the nomenclature isn't on the type, it's on the name. Okay, so let's take, now I should be able to say struct S pointer S4 equals the address of S3, 0, right? Yeah. And then say for int I equals I less than 2, actually, yeah, let me do that. And then I can reference S4 to X, yep, okay, so, oh, is there no way to do it without it being, can I write it in an indexed way? I don't like that I'm advantages at work to start with. No. Good, because what I was hoping is I would have a pointer of S4, treat it like, this isn't going to work either, is it? No. I don't know how to do this. So this ends up being an address. So how to reference array of struct? C okay. While structure not equal to null. Nope. Right, okay, so size of structure divided by size. So here, advancing by the size of the structure. So okay, so here's my guess. I need to do something like this. For, and I need to do a struct s pointer that starts out being s equal to the address of s3, 0. And then I'm going to advance it while okay, that would get me, that isn't what I want to do. Instead, I think what I want is I still want an int of I equals 0. I am going to iterate that way. Can I, well, let's say that I had P. Well, okay, I have S right here. What I want to do after each one is SR4 is going to be, I have to increase it by the size of struct S. Right? Implicit declaration of that. Okay, so go to the top. Initialization of struct S from incremental. So I need to. What line was that on? 30. So that's not even valid? Why does it tell me, oh, it's used because it's, okay, so now, okay, so that's all there. Now, we'll just have it do one pass. And okay, so it doesn't like there's no way to like, I guess I could do it range checked this way where it's I times size of struct S, right? I array times size of struct s. I mean, that's pretty harsh, but it is done with range notation, or with array notation. It doesn't like it. What's the right way to take the size of a struct? I should be able to see that, I bet, right here. Size of structure type 0. So size of S3, S4, size of S4, 0. That ain't it. Size of structure type 4. C, structure, struct, iterate, array. C method for iterating through struct members. Do something, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm looking for. Type def, union, struct, blah, blah, blah. Not what I'm looking for. So let's do this slightly different. Array of structs. Array of structs. So structure A, array 2, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is what I want, I think. So I have an array. Oh no, it's, but I was trying to do, yeah, that works. That's this. Let me ask this a different way. Can I make struct S5 S five? How do I unarray? How do I unpointer? Maybe sometimes you can get away with asking really, really dumb questions on the internet. No, unfortunately, you cannot do it. This is even asking the question I want. Portable way to unpoint a pointer, type def. This is unfortunately defined and some external cannot touch, blah, blah, blah. Cannot change the external library. Non-portable way. So extern type of that my variable. So I think that this actually would work, but it's non-portable. So let's see if I can experiment with this. What I want to get, does that work? So it'd be I don't know what type of does. Type of. And then you assign the address of I don't know what's going on there. I'm getting off into weirdness land. This makes perfect sense to me. But I should be able to have a pointer. I mean, I obviously can do it with pointer math. So I could have, you know, I could create a temporary pointer here. So it would be a struct s p. I would initialize that. I would initialize to the address of S3 there, as long as the condition is going to be as long as P is less than the address of S3 0, as long as P is less than the address of S3 plus 0 plus 2 times the size of we want to increase P increase P by the size of struct S. And then I end up just accessing everything through P and right. It's not going to build. So initialization of struct S from incompatible pointer type struct. So let's do these things one at a time. I want to initialize struct SP. Does that work? That does not. Initialization of so incompatible pointer type struct S pointer. Initialization of struct S pointer from incompatible pointer type struct. Warning, unused and unused. Okay, so this part should have been that and can just be that, but it can also be unindex, right? So that works. Oh. No, because then it would just be an array of pointers. And there it's pointing to the first one. Yeah. But why can't I have it point to the 0th one? Incompatible. Oh, because then it has to be the address of the 0th one. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. So that means here I could say, hey, I want to start working on this slice of star p equal to, yeah. Okay. Now, given that, incompatible types when initializing, aren't these identical? Struct s star p equals the address of, I missed, so that goes there. Okay, implicit declaration of function size of, and I have this feeling I'm supposed to just have S3. Actually, we could just use that messed that all up. So that closes the size of, that closes the for. There we go. Nope, that's not right. Plus. That closes the size of, that closes that one, that closes the for. Why do I have an extra one in here? That isn't closing right. Now, invalid operands to binary, have struct s. Well, okay, so let's cheat on this a little bit for now. Let's say as long as P is less than the address of S3 01, as long as it's less than the address of 012. And then what we're doing is we're adding the size of S30. Invalid operands to binary, have struct s and struct s pointer. But which parts? But why? Oh. P already is the pointer, right? Implicit declaration of function size of. Where is size of defined? I think that's not my problem. I think it's something I don't, it's a weird error message I don't understand. Can size of, undefined size of. Let me take a look here. So if size of exists, it's in one of those. So I'm not. Okay, so how do I get... So there's nothing wrong. Okay, so I see. Maybe instead of that, I don't understand. Let's do this. Print f percent u. Is it? What's the... CU. Oops. Unexpected on line 33. Okay, so I can do a size of S. I happen to know now that it's 8, but it won't even let me just put an 8 here, I'm sure. Nope, that didn't save. Okay, so that works. Now, why doesn't it let me do struct? Oh, so I don't know what I had wrote before. Oh. Okay, so that works. Let's turn Copilot off. This really messes with the parentheses when I'm... okay, so that works. But for some reason... Okay, but if I do this, it breaks. I could have swore I typed that exact same thing several times. I'll have to go back and look at the video afterwards to see what I was doing wrong. Okay, so what we have going on here then is I'm actually working a slice of the I can have this, I can take a pointer that represents a slice of an array of structs, and iterate over it. That's pretty straightforward, actually. So I think that was mostly what I was trying to achieve. All the different ways I'm going to use and access a struct, right? Defining one inline. What does that look like? Well, that looks like this. So no problem. So let's say I wanted to do, right, so struct S of, what am I on? I'm on S4, would equal just 5 comma 6, right? It's unused, but I don't think there's any other problem. So then if I take this and I say, oops, not that one. If I take this and say that I want to do printout 4. Yep. Okay, so that's an inline definition. That's an inline definition of an array. This is to take a to get a pointer into a specific index, a specific element of the array, right? It doesn't have to be the first one. It happens to be in this. Ideally, okay, so I want to go one step further here. So we'll keep that line for now. But the thing is I kind of want to be able to say n more elements, right? And so to do that, I would say times size of struct S, right? And that most definitely didn't work. 2 times that. So the original value. Okay, I know what I did wrong. So I want to be able to take it from the 0th element plus the address of the 0th element plus the size of struct, as long as it's less than that. There we go. Let's put a puts here. Oh, my Ruby is showing through. Yeah. So that's saying, hey, only do one element plus. So what I really want is that times some number, right? That's what we're currently doing. But I want to do 2 of them. Ooh, that does not work. Why does that not work? I really don't know why it doesn't work, right? Because we're starting on the first one, and then we're going to continue to go until so let's print out some stuff here. let's start out with the address of the address of S3 does that work? I can't do that. There we go. So now let's do the address of S3 plus the size of let's actually do some assignments here. Or actually, I don't want to do the assignments. I just want to, I'll just do it with the calculator real quick. So, so we got 672, nope. 736 minus 672. That's 64 bytes. That's kind of crazy that it's that big, but we'll assume it's an alignment thing, because it's two 32-bit values, so it's 64 bits total. Well, let's do it. I mean, that's the exact same notation I'm using over here, right? Actually, let's use the exact same notation. So plus equals I don't think it's going to let me because I can't modify it. So it just has to, yeah, it's the same thing because it's just not, okay. Now, I want to take size of, multiply it by 2. And now, if I have 760 minus 632, it's 128. It's 2 of them. As long as P is less than all of that. Oh. Let's get the value of printf %u. Oh, actually, let's just do it here. %u, and all we're doing is getting the value of p. Okay, so it's doing what I think it's doing. Let's so we're getting 1 and 2. We never get 3 and 4. And I don't quite get why. Each time we advance it, is it an order of operation kind of thing? Oh, what did I leave in place? It's not an order of operation thing. Now it's done screwed up. So I still get 1, 2. I think there's... If I back up enough here... I did have this working at one point, right? I just didn't like the way I was doing. Yeah, I was. Let's do this. So, printf %u, and I want to get the address of S3 0 and 1. And let's do a puts here just to make sure I can see the right thing. So they are how far apart? So they're 272 minus 264. They're only oh, I know what's going on. The size of is giving me the size of a pointer instead of the size of the struct, right? That's got to be it. So, okay. Well, so the way I would, let's actually do it here first. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set the upper limits by using an index. I want to have that index number so that I, well, I kind of do. No, I'm literally taking the address of the slice, but I want to make it relative to the pointer. And so to do that, it is going to be, I am going to have to increase P by some amount. And that amount is going to be a number times the size of struct S. Okay, so that's not right, obviously. And let's find out why. So if I recompute that and show myself over here, and basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the S3 value, that's the starting point, and I'm adding to it oh, it knows. No. Okay, so let's do this. I know. So if I just increase it by the size of struct s, right? I would have expected this to be equal to that, but it is much larger. So okay, so it's like using this, it knows that it's n bits wide or something. Because I actually don't really get it. It knows that this thing is a struct pointing to that, and so does it really mean I can just do +2? Because it already knows the size of whatchamajiggy here. Okay, so let's do that little experiment. So if those last two should be the same, I think. So this and this are the same, but that is not. And it is in fact larger. Oh. So let's do this. So that's the addresses of the things. And if I do +0, +1, +3, +2, I mean, 60, 68, 76. So that, yeah, okay, so it takes account, it's doing the size for me. I wasn't expecting that. And so all that work was me trying to do work that the compiler was going to do for me. So if I just do that and I say is less than, p is less than p plus 2, an index. Okay. That doesn't compute because let's look at this one again. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, what I had thought I had figured out a second ago is if I just take the address of S3 and add to it. Okay. Let's maybe I hallucinated. So what I've done is say, hey, add the size of that struct, but now I want to add the size of the struct twice. And that is not the right size. It's too big. So this one is correctly pointing, I added the size of the struct, I should be pointing at the second one. Oh, when I end, the first one is at 328. The second one is at 336. The next one is at 352. If I add the size of the struct, I end up on the second one. That makes sense. What the fuck is 393? What the hell is that? Is there a difference between the align size of the struct? C, size of aligned struct. Okay, so are they two different things? That can go away. Okay, I'm not getting anywhere here. When size of operand is a type, it has to be enclosed in parentheses. When the size of operand is a variable, this is not required. But it is a type, and it is... I want to get the size of 1 subtracted from the address of 0. What is the size of? Okay. Okay, so the alignments... Okay, so what's going on there? So 360 minus 352 is 8. 376 minus 360 is 16. So, yep. But 360... Okay. Oh. What is 376 minus 360? 16. Right. Because, why is the size of the struct 16, but what happens if I take the size of S3 0 instead. So both of those are the same size. Oh, this is 16 because here, just to try and not confuse myself, I'll have all the values there, right? So, match. Why is this one different? The difference between why is 568 minus 544? Why is that 24? And let's make the array a little bigger. Make sure there's nothing weird going on because of that. So we'll add one more element. And then, so 5160 minus 5152 is 8. I do not want the calculator help. 5176 minus 5160 is 16. I don't get it. Why is the first one there's like non-uniform distances between these things. Zero, one. Oh, Jesus. All this time. That's what was confusing me. I had typed one. Oh my God. Now they line up. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Okay. So now, I'm fairly certain though. Yeah, so I have to look at them as a integer value, because if I just increment them, so let's do this. If I'm not looking at them as an integer value, and I have that, and I have that, and I have that. So, yep, I mean, it's like incrementing, right? And so, this is equivalent to a p, and so if I take, if p is less than, let's get rid of that, start over. The part is what I'm comparing it to, which is the address of S3 0 plus 2, right? Alls I'm after is the clean notation where I have the integer value of the index in that range. And so why does that work here? So if I don't do this, oh, actually I'm fighting in a circle. I just realized I simply don't need to do what I'm going to do. That will work. And the reason it works is because that and that are the exact same thing. If I know whatever pointer I had here, okay. Okay, so, but let's say that right, so, yeah, I don't think I simply need to do this. Can I define it in terms, oh, I know why, also, clearly it's a bad idea to define it in terms of p, because I'm incrementing p. Okay, that was a really long lesson in being dumb. So, this is going to be a comical video if I go back and watch it. I feel sorry for anybody that put up with all this. This is so dumb. There's absolutely no reason, no way that I should be comparing there. Using the value p over here in that comparison. And there's no difference between these two. So may as well just do that. I mean, you pretty much need to, because you need to be comparing against your starting point. Okay, if nothing else, this cemented this really well in my head. So I can see all the pieces there. I think I have everything that I want, right? And it's making sense to me now. What it looks like to define a struct or a struct pointer, to access it, to initialize it, both as an array, as a scalar value. All pretty straightforward. One last run. And that was a long lesson in, well, I don't know what to call it, but it gave me all the pieces I needed. So sorry for making you watch all that. See you in the next video.